right? I think it depends where you are.
Well, thank you for your time again.
Okay. Well, when I read your letter, and I was going to email you, but I just thought, oh, I'm not going to go into all this detail in email because, to be honest with you, emails are read with the tone supplied by the reader.
Okay.
And I didn't want you supplying the wrong tone to the email that I sent.
I understand.
So I thought best to meet ourselves together. And because the first question I had for myself was, what is Sabina trying to accomplish here? Because I think if you're trying to accomplish some resolution where you can both go forward professionally with one another, this doesn't do it. It just is very in your face. You're hurting me. I don't like you. This is wrong. I'm right. You know, and I just didn't think that it would accomplish. You know, and you just say, you just need to answer my questions. Well, he doesn't need to answer your questions. You would like him to answer your questions, but he doesn't need to.
Okay.
I mean, he could totally ignore everything that you send him from now till you both retire.
Okay.
And
Well, my challenge with him is, I mean, he put me in charge of teaching women on law. I've been teaching her for 4 years, every semester 2 sections. The person who set up the course was a former GD, and she has included in it sexual harassment, she has sexual discrimination. So I kind of been teaching the whole thing.
Right.
So I'm very familiar with the legal situation. And he cannot retaliate when there's a student complaint, and he also cannot say how it's supposed to be handled, because there are guidelines in this regard. And you cannot say that the student has to come to him or we have to report to him only. This is against the law. And,
I know that.
And he said that.
And he's been advised of that.
But that was after he was being advised that he brought that up again.
I think that this is being reiterated to him by Liz about what the proper procedures are.
But he has not shared them with the department. So the last memo, and the memo that went out to us, says we have to go to him and to him only. And that's the problem. And then he brought it up at the department meeting too. And again, and he made claims that didn't happen. And that's just not fair. And I really have it documented where he is up to that point. I mean, like the letter he wrote, and I was shared, and I was kind of shared with AT&T, that I did not have the support of the department. That's wrong. And that was damaging to me.
Right.
And it destroyed my work. And then the press release also didn't even have my name in it.
So I guess the question is, what at the end of the day, what is it that you want? I don't know what you're wanting, and I don't know where this will go.
Okay.
Except by continuing between the two of you, just sort of. This is the way you are. I mean, you're like ships passing in the night.
I actually, before Christmas, I mean, I took that he retaliated against me, that he treated me unfairly, that he blamed me in meeting and stuff like this. So I took all that. Even that he discriminated against me when it came to the assignment of the chair thing. And I was told, and this is not easy to take. I mean, I have a degree from one of the most prestigious schools in the country. I paid a lot of money. I put a lot of work in it.
Sure.
So, I mean, like, so I have a PhD. This is for a search and screen for a PhD's position. I only had one so far, and they are prestigious because I've been on DRBs, and you get a lot of credit if you chair DRB. So, I mean, search and screen. And I was then, I mean, that was given to someone who.
Well, but I know all that. We talked about all that.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I let that go. I let that go, even though it was clearly a discrimination. And then he brought it up again.
Right.
I don't feel safe. It was out of blue when I let it all go. I was all friendly and everything, and did not bring it up. And then when he could hurt me the most, right before that Jack presentation, kind of put me in the wrong light, which then ended up being in a press release, where I wasn't even mentioned. That was all. I did the donation all on my own time during the summer vacation, and based on kind of like the NSF proposal and stuff, I did not distort anything. I copied and pasted out of something that the school and Tom signed off on.
Right.
And that blame, I mean, that was kind of put me in a bad light with AT&T. And and also like to have a press release where the school gets a donation from AT&T, and I'm not even mentioning this is a slap in the face.
Okay.
That was my work. And I don't feel safe with him.
Okay.
I don't feel safe because he's getting away with it.
I understand, but my question is still, what is it that you want to happen?
I think he has to, the one thing is, I think like it has to be addressed that how we probably handle student complaints, because he cannot like send out something that's incorrect. And I think I deserve an apology. Right. I mean, Lauren apologized to everybody but me, and I've been hurt. Well, now I'm the one hurting.
The other question that I have for you is, if I were to sit down with Tom and ask him what the issues were, what do you think that Tom would say? I mean, Tom's going to have a totally different perspective from you. And Tom is, perhaps, I don't know, because I haven't spoken to Tom, is probably going to feel battered.
Probably in his mind he does.
Right.
Because he thought I did everything wrong. I should have only gone
So what we've got is two people who have two different perceptions about what happened. And now we're trying to figure out, can we bring those two people together so that they can work together? And if not, what would the outcome be? If at that point, if we can't manage to have you and Tom working together and you're still uncomfortable or still upset by everything that's happened, then the alternative, the last thing is to file a complaint or a grievance against him. And because I would probably be the one that would have to hear that, I would really prefer not to be sort of advising, because Tom could come in tomorrow and say, I'm having a heck of a time with Sabina, I don't know what to do with her, this is what my feelings are. So I know that you feel very strongly about this, and I know that you feel that you've been wronged, and you perhaps have, and but I'm hearing only one side. I've given you some advice as to what, given what your beliefs are and what your feelings are, and what you've sort of documented, that this would be the procedure you could follow with respect to a grievance. But if we want to try to resolve this, then we're going to have to come at it from a different perspective.
Okay. I really, that's why I asked him before. It's just like, I want to know, and I asked you too, where was I wrong? And I'm treated like I did something wrong, and I didn't. And I think I deserve an answer. What did I do wrong? According to what he said in the department meeting, the mistake was that I took it all the way up to the provost, which is a lie. I didn't. So you can't say that. So what I'm accused of, that basically I took it outside of him. I mean, what do I do with a student who says, I don't want to talk to a man?
Right.
Well, such a serious
there was nothing wrong with what you did.
But this is what he sees wrong, and he has not said anything else. I haven't done anything else wrong. And I just want to know if I'm treated like I'm less deserving and did something wrong. Then tell me what I did, because if I did something wrong, I apologize. And this is why I told him, like, if you've been wronged, I am sorry. But I cannot be treated like this when it comes to assignment.
Have you had that discussion with him?
Yeah, and he does not want to talk to me, because he's kind of like, I asked him to let me know, and he doesn't. He is not comfortable talking to women. He is not. In fact, probably one of the worst things that happened to him is that when the whole student complaint came out, that he had to face 3 women. He does not like that. And there were already at least two claims against sexual discrimination against him before. And when I started here, Midi came in, there was an investigation, and I remember when Midi came in last, as in the function of a dean, she advised, she said, we have to get somebody in, we have to have at least a day seminar on how to communicate, because obviously we can't communicate properly in a department, especially men and women. After she left, he blew her off, and he never had that. How can he blow off his own supervisor on this?
Right.
It's because she is a woman.
Right.
And he doesn't like that. And he even made comments about Liz, kind of like giving a hard time on something on the department meeting last year, which I didn't think was appropriate to share that with us in the meeting. So I think these are things he has. I just want to know what I did wrong, so if I did something wrong, I can address it and try to fix it.
But what I'm telling you is you didn't do anything wrong.
Why am I treated like I did something wrong by him?
Well, but the question I'm trying to get, and I'm not communicating well to you because the frustration I'm having is that if we want to, you either want us to try to mediate something here, which means that we have to come at it leaving some of our baggage behind.
Okay.
Or you file a grievance. And those are the two options. Otherwise, this is going to chew you up.
Yeah.
Because he can continue to ignore you forever.
And he probably will. And this is why I was really hoping that before Christmas that we finally can move on. And then he kind of hits me with this after. When we put in an NSF proposal, the school is behind it, right? I mean, like I have to print out what it says. It goes way further than what I actually put in with AT&T. It says that we actually will offer a bachelor degree, Bachelor of Science in cybersecurity. That was the proposal we sent to a federal agency to get almost $500,000 in funding. I think if the department is not supporting that idea, how can we put in a proposal? Of course it was supported. Tom put in on SDrive, he requested a folder for some material to be exchanged. He set a lot of this stuff up. He was at a meeting. He was the one also like that at a meeting with DOJ that asked for a letter of support from the DOJ, Wisconsin DOJ for it. So that was all done. Then we didn't get the funding because NSF does not do curriculum funding, basically something from scratch. So with sponsored program, we thought about putting a new one in. We wanted to put one in October. That was too rushed for Liz. He actually, on the day before the student complained, Tom sent an email and says, "Oh, don't worry about it. We just put in, there's another round in December, we put in there." That means he's in support, right? I mean,
I haven't seen any of these emails.
I mean, I can show you the emails. I have them all. So, and I have not heard anything else that suddenly there's no support. And then he puts in that letter to Liz, and then Liz to contact AT&T based on that information, that I acted without the support of the department. That doesn't make any sense. Like, if we kind of want to scale it down or anything, this is all okay. I'm not promising people that we have this in a year or 2 or 3 or 4. It's just like that we're working on developing it.
Right.
To what degree we can implement it depends on funding, depends on positions.
But this is, I understand all this, but the issue is but I'm trying to figure out between you and Tom what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we keep getting back into the weeds, and they're very important because it's part of what you're doing and what you want to do. But how do we resolve this so that there can be some open dialogue, open, honest, and respectful dialogue between the two of you? Because if not, it's going to be very difficult for both of you to work together.
I would appreciate a mediation. I would appreciate, because Tom does not want to let me know what specifically I did wrong. And I think he can't because, as you said, I didn't really do anything wrong. And the only thing that really changed was that student complaint. There's nothing else. I've done everything he wanted me to do. And in the summer, I've been gave my free time this summer when he had to deal with family matters in Missouri. And I did that for several summers where I came in with first-year student registration. And I did it happily. I like to do stuff for the department. The entire thing about getting funding and donation in was for the department. I mean, we do this. I have 5 directed studies that I don't get paid for. They're a lot of work. This is undergraduate student research that I do for the department. And I want to help our students, I want to help our department. Just yesterday, I got a request from a school in Iowa that because of what I did, also with a television special on my behavioral profiling class, that a teacher wants to bring in 16 students who are interested in our program. I mean, these are things I do for the department, right? I mean, and he sends this, I don't know what I have the letter here if you want to read it, and he sends a very, very harsh letter to me. And including where he makes reference to a website that I bought, about 2 websites. And I have an email, and again, I can send you all that documentation. When I what I put on the email, he's on the website, he's seen that. And I've sent that email to him in September.
Mm-hmm.
Now in this letter from January, he attacks me that I put stuff on that website that is not supported, or that may indicate the department is supporting something that the department is not supporting. It's not new. I've had this on, and he's seen it in his office. I was in there. I sent him an email with the link. It doesn't make sense that he's slapping me now. And this is a right. So when you say, like, I shouldn't send an email or interpret stuff in it, why is he sending me this stuff? 4 days before we get
again, let me just suggest that again, the reader is supplying the tone to this. So you're supplying an angry tone that may not have been the tone in which it was written. That's why it's, when we have these exchanges, it just escalates situations because we're not talking face to face. We're not putting forward ideas. You're supplying motives that he may or may not have, because that's your feeling. So when you say he doesn't, or he does this, or he doesn't do this, then it's supplying a motive that Tom may not have. And really what's happening is when he does these things, it causes you to feel a certain way. It may not necessarily mean that that's his intention. And I'm not saying that it isn't.
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah. So I will talk to Liz about this, and then I will try to get together with Tom and see if there's something that we can do during this semester to try to straighten out a few things, to make sure some things are straightened out, and that can ease some of the communication issues between the two of you.
For example, like before the JED presentation, this was a big moment to kind of send something like this out there. It's very, very harsh. I mean, like, if he had a problem, he could have called me and he could have said, like, we have to really make sure that we don't give the appearance that we will have something in a few years that we want, that we cannot guarantee. And I totally agree with him on that. I absolutely agree with him. I mean, I'm very passionate about it. And but I respond to anything kind of like, we have to kind of be kind of like, not give that impression, because I don't want to. I don't know when we will have it. I hope we will have it. Something like this. I mean, I hope we would have it, because I think it would be good for our school. It would give us a huge advantage. It would give us higher enrollment numbers.
Right.
And,
but there are some things in here that you say, if your vision of the future does not include Cypher, then your crystal ball is blurred.
Yeah.
I mean, that's going to say to him immediately, it's going to be like a cat with his hackles.
Yeah, and it's because he said, like, the vision of the program is mine, and mine only.
Well, and I don't know if there is a vision within the department. I don't know. If you have evidence to the contrary, then, why don't you send that information forward to me so that I can look at that before we set up some sort of meeting, before I set up a meeting with Tom.
Okay.
Okay? But I would not recommend that you send this out, because I think this will just exacerbate the situation.
This is already sent.
You already sent it?
After that letter, because I needed answers, and he doesn't want to answer.
Okay. All right. So we'll have to address this with him too. Okay. All right.
I just really want to know what, in his eyes, what I did wrong that changed everything, that changed something from being supportive of this program to not being supportive. And the only indication I have, and that I'm going by, because I don't have anything else, is that student complaint, and I know he was not happy. He was not happy. And I know that he stood in front, he didn't have to stand in front of Lon Gibson. That was Lon Gibson's doing, that wasn't Tom's doing. I never ever kind of put anything that, and I didn't even put blame on Lon, because I let the school handle it. I trust the school with this, absolutely, due process and stuff like this. And I was told that, and even Tom mentioned it one time, that Lon apologized to everybody. Well, he did not apologize to me. And I'm affected, I think, the most by it. And I should not have been, because I just took on something that was brought to me. And Tom was upset that, I should have been only with him. And he even said, like, I want to interview the student. Well, the student expressively told me she does not want to talk to him about it. I mean, I cannot ignore this.
Right.
I still told her, I'm sorry, I have to tell our chair, because I think our chair has to know as being the supervisor in the department.
Mm-hmm.
So she was not comfortable with it, but she accepted it. And then I just checked with Liz before I say anything else I have to do. And it was Liz's recommendation to go to student affairs. And I didn't take it anywhere else.
Right.
I really didn't. And he says, like, basically at the meeting, I took it all the way to the provost. And I didn't. And it may really be, because if maybe a male member of the university would have explained to him the whole thing was a student complaint, maybe he would have taken it better. But I just hear over and over in our department, well, this is very typical, this is Tom, and he's running sexist department, and he does not talk to female employees the same he does to male. He's more comfortable with male. And you know what, maybe he is, and he's old school, and I understand that. My dad is very patriarchal too, so this is not something I don't understand, and I worked well with him, and accepting this until the student complaint happened. It really, I had a good working relationship with him.
Well, and again, you're suggesting, or it's your feeling that that's the only thing that happened, and
Correct.
Maybe something else happened.
And that's what I want to know.
You know.
This is what I'm asking, and I want, is there anything else?
So
that I did
perhaps you
wrong?
need to forward to me the emails and whatever other materials you have regarding this proposal for the cybersecurity piece.
Yeah.
And then
I may have a printout that I could share with you. Let's see.
This is a project summary. This is the proposal. If you need to see the title page and everything, I can forward it.
well, does it show that it's signed off by the department?
Well, this is kind of like what I got. That was like submitted to the NSF. So, and we can easily get that from, if you needed anything else, from sponsored programs. And it was submitted on April 17th, 2012.
But did Tom sign off on this anywhere?
Not on this one.
Well,
So we would
but
have to contact sponsored programs on that, because they send it in and they have all the signatures and everything.
Uh-huh.
So that would be Bob Roberts would be the contact address, and Kathy Lomax was on that document, and she cannot send it in because she was the director of sponsored programs at that time.
Uh-huh. And had all of these people said that they would be on this?
Yes,
Right.
they were all, and this is but another thing that he mentioned, that I'm claiming that that I have a cooperation of working with other members of the school on it, and I don't. Well, they have been on a proposal, and they were willing to be on the next proposal too, and I have had meetings with them, so they would all corroborate on that. And Dean Haskell said, like, anytime, I'm not Dean Haskell, Dean Hudson said, anytime he needs something in this regard, I could come to his office.
Uh-huh.
So he's been very supportive of it. And because, and we wanted to kind of resubmit in a different way to get funding for it. And but, this is what I kind of have from the NSF side, but sponsored programs, they have all the documents because they send it in. We got a response from them, so I have that too when I go to the NSF site, the peer review and everything. It's an official document. I cannot submit that without the support of the school. There's no way I can submit an NSF. It has to go through sponsored programs. So it was signed off, and I know it was signed off at that time under Dean Emerson's,
Well, those are the documents that are
Yeah.
important. I mean, the
Yeah.
project summary means nothing
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much, but
But this is
You
with
know,
sponsored
right.
programs, so we can, that's something that can be requested at
Okay.
any moment.
Okay.
I mean, at any time, they have that material there.
okay, I will probably go through the dean to do that
Mhm.
rather than
Yeah.
do that myself.
I just really wanna know, and even if he wants to sit down, he says, we can go in a different direction, but saying that I don't have any support for going forward with it, doesn't make any sense. That we're not approving a secure program or the development of one. That NSF proposal, that's supporting development of one. It doesn't say we will have it in 5 years, it doesn't say we have it in 4 years, it doesn't say we have it in 10 years. It just says like that we want to go forward and see whether we can develop one. And I spent a lot of time last year working on this. So basically, it's all for nothing. And that's kind of hard to take, because I did this on my free time, I wasn't paid for it.
Well, and again, if Tom had said, yes, you can go ahead and do this, that's one thing. I mean, if you chose to do it on your own, you
Absolutely, I
choose
understand.
to do it on your
Yeah.
own. So,
But-
you know, I don't know how to respond,
Yeah,
Sabina, to the link between the young woman
Yeah,
complaining and what happened here. And I don't know if there were other things that occurred that would have, and I hate to take this out of your file when you've got that all together.
Well, I can forward you even that link if you want to.
That
I can
would
do
be probably the best
Yeah,
thing to do.
Because I have everything for kind of how I handled this with the complaint of the student, and how I send it to Tom, what I sent to Tom on this. I have all this kind of together. Here, for example, Tom Kaywood. This is like here, NSF proposal, right? And that's not the time for NSF proposal. No need to rush this to get it to the dean by tomorrow if you're not going to do it correctly. I'm sure she wants to have some, if there's another cycle in December, then that should give us time to get everything ready and to the dean early enough for her satisfaction. And as if this came from Tom.
Right.
I mean, that was October 10th. I can show you that. And that was kind of like with the student. That was on Thursday. This is what happened on Thursday. This is the email, Thursday. The next day, and suddenly everything is out of the window. Since he has not given me any other reason why that I did something wrong, and he's never addressed anything formally that he wants to go in a different direction. In fact, like I have even an email where he says, well, maybe a certificate in cybersecurity is the right way to go. I have that too. So that means that he's supporting some kind of program, something in cybersecurity. And then he sent that damaging email that really embarrasses me in front of AT&T's.
Right.
I don't think it's fair.
Right. Well, and again, I understand that, but fair or not, it's whether we can do something about it.
I just want to move forward, because it really makes it hard
Did
to work.
you contact Rick at all?
I not yet. The main reason is because I've been in communication with home. It's been really tough, but I definitely want to do this. I have $7,000 in donation that I got from AT&T. It doesn't give me any release time. There's nothing I get that kind of helps me. I teach 5 courses. I have 5 directed studies. I oversee 3 PACE programs. It's a lot of work. So, and I don't even know when I want to do anything for the AT&T donation, which means probably by October we have to give a big portion of the money back to them, which I don't think will be good for the school. It will make it harder to attract new donations.
Right.
I think it may have been really harmful that there was email exchange with AT&T that says I claim something that doesn't exist.
There is communication with AT&T?
Yes, AT&T was CC'd on that because Liz Stoop was very uncomfortable that, where it was, because Tom indicated to her there is no support from the department. At that time, and keep in mind too, when I put in the request for the donations, AT&T, that was done in the summer. That was based on the NSF proposal. That's the information I had. That was something that was signed off, and again, it was sent in formally by the school to the National Science Foundation. So I did not here come up with something on my own.
Right.
It was based on an official document from the school. And that was and the donation was given based on that proposal that was sent in, that was filled out before the student complaint happened. And I don't know how to explain it to AT&T, what's going on now. And I don't really feel comfortable even working, doing anything with the $7,000 right now, because I don't really know what.
Okay. All right, well, let me see what, let me talk with with Liz,
Thank
and,
you.
but, you know, I'm not so sure that this is going to be resolved exactly the way you want it to be resolved.
Yeah.
I need to let you know that in advance.
I know
Because
Tom has his own ideas, and it is. I just want to have a working relationship.
Well, I think that, and this is a silly thing to say, but I think you need to, I really do think you need to take a deep breath.
Mm-hmm.
You've got so much going on right now
Mm-hmm.
that colors everything that you experience.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that happens to you is colored by all of the things that are happening with your family and the things that have happened with the grant. And I think that makes it difficult to separate pieces out because, you know, at certain times of our lives, that emotional piece just kicks in because it has to. I mean,
that's why I had to excuse
yeah.
myself from the last department meeting, because I
Yeah.
was very emotional and I
Yeah.
could not have handled him doing another step like he did, and you know, like after the student complaint, where he kind of brought that up.
Right.
And a lot of members of the department kind of knew what's going on, because things like this, you know, must float and stuff like this. And certainly Lon Gibson knew exactly what Tom was talking about. And I don't think I would have handled something, another
Right,
step. Not,
right.
So I thought, like, I don't want to have a nervous breakdown or anything. So I just don't come. I cannot come into this
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
And you know, like, you know, sometimes people are sick or are just for other things. So
Sure.
and I really was not feeling well anyway that day. I was really kind of that I wasn't in a situation where I think it would have been helpful,
Yeah,
and I could
yeah.
have really contributed anyway. But we have to come to some kind of solution on that, and I hope you can understand. But if it's really based on student complaint that I didn't do anything wrong, if there's something else that I did, then he has to express it to me.
Mhm.
Because how can I address it if he doesn't
Right.
express it to me?
Right.
If I did something else wrong.
Okay. Okay. All right, Sabina. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very
All
much
right.
for your time.
We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, and I'll make sure that in the next days that I forward you emails that
Sure.
will be helpful to you.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.